Stuart and Jay.
Stuart and Jay.
SFM.
SFM.
Stuart and Jay.
Six-figure mentors.
I joined the SFM because I really felt it would help me to take my business to a whole new level.
I wanted to get an education in digital marketing.
I've travelled 9 hours from Canada to be here at the SFM training event.
The SFM training for me has just been completely mind-blowing.
Completely over-delivers on everything.
Ridiculously simple and the support to be second to none.
Really informative and just easy to follow step by step.
Easy to follow, even for a complete technophobe like me.
Right on the money, right there, great training.
Stuart and Jay really care about people.
Genuinely want to help people achieve the success that they have achieved.
They are transparent and they just let you know how it is.
They're just fantastic guys, really honest.
They are very natural.
Authentic, down to earth.
Approachable, they're real people. To me, they're just like friends now.
The SFM's changed my life because it's given me more time freedom.
Join the SFM. Join the SFM.
The SFM has opened my mind to the many possibilities that are out there.
Enlightening.
Honest.
Quality. It's given me a new energy and lease of life to get up and go in the morning.
Inspiring.
Awesome. Phenomenal.
Finding Stuart and Jay has allowed me to give up my day job, give up the 9 to 5, get rid of my boss and just live the life that I really want to live.
Education.
Amazing.
Life-changing.
Incredible.
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 You know, when I first had this idea of teaching people how to do what I had done, which was basically make enough money on the internet to quit my job and live a very, very different kind of lifestyle, I thought it was going to be quite straightforward. And I had this vision of me sharing some business models, sharing some ideas, sharing some tips, and people going off and doing the work. Hundreds, if not thousands of people around the world would be quitting their jobs as a result of me. And I'd be very, very fulfilled along the way. I'd have a lot of raving fans, a lot of successful case studies, and would all live happily ever after. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out as I planned. You know, for the first 2 years, I'm going to be really honest with you, I really struggled. And if I was struggling, you can imagine what my students were doing. Now, it wasn't so much that I was doing anything wrong. Of course, I was teaching and sharing ideas that had worked for me. But what I realised is that there were a lot of variables, a lot of hurdles along the way, a lot of overwhelm, and a lot of frustration that people were experiencing. And as a result of that, it would often stop them in their tracks. You know, I had a lot of students who were really hard working, great work ethics, that just weren't getting the kind of results I expected, that I wanted for them. So I ended up going back to the drawing board, and I have to tell you, those 2 years taught me an awful lot, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. But before I do that, I just want to properly introduce myself. So as you may already know, my name is Stuart Ross. I'm the co-founder of the Six-Figure Mentors, Digital Experts Academy as well. I also have a couple of software companies, Digital Business Lounge, Simple Lead Capture. And it's fair to say the internet's been very good to me. I've been able to generate millions and millions and millions of dollars in sales online. And as a result, been able to live a kind of cool lifestyle. Currently, I live in Miami, Florida. I overlook the water. Out in the day doing things that I want to be doing. I'm not trading my time for money. And yeah, I live a pretty cool lifestyle. But of course, it wasn't always like that. You probably heard this many times before, but I do want to share with you some insights because I think it will make a bit of a pattern interrupt, I suppose, in terms of the way that you view making money on the internet. And that's my goal here. So let me go back. Before working online, I was a real estate agent. And the only reason that I looked for something else was because honestly, I wasn't passionate about what I was doing anymore. I was tired, I was working extremely long hours, I was living for one day off a week, usually the Sunday, and working those kind of hours for okay money when you're not passionate is really, really difficult. And it would often be Sunday nights, knowing that I'm going back to work to do the same thing again on Monday, that just finished me off. You know, it was just depressing. And what I decided to do was look at another way. You know, I looked at people around me and, you know, many of the people I saw were financially successful. But the thing that bothered me was that so many of them were tired, burnt out, had very little time with their family. Many of them were unhealthy and in some cases even sick. And I didn't want to head down that way. I was only 26 years old, but I could see kind of the way that I was going, especially being, you know, not passionate about what I was doing. So what I decided to do is kind of invest, I suppose, in my education. I went out and bought some books, bought some DVD courses, And I made a decision in 2007 to actually try and start my own business. And what I did is I bought into a franchise. It was $20,000. I borrowed the money and got into debt to start this business. And it was a local advertising business. And let me tell you this, I'm not going to go into the full story, but within 6 months of starting that business, I had completely drilled it into the ground. I was in tons of debt. I was suffering with anxiety. I was getting the odd panic attack. I'd lost a lot of confidence and things weren't looking so great. And, I can tell you this, that if you've ever been there at a place where you lose all confidence and you're in debt, every day is a real struggle, you'll know it's not a nice place to be. And what I ended up doing anyway is going back to my job as a real estate agent. And because I'd lost so much confidence, I remember going back thinking, I just need to do what my friends and family are telling me to do, which is work my safe, secure job, work my way up the ladder, and everything will be okay. Well, if you're anything like me, you'll know that when you're the kind of person with a burning desire for more, when you're the kind of person who's not satisfied with waking up every day unfulfilled, you know that burning desire is going to keep you up at night. It's going to keep you driving you mad, telling you that you have to find something else. And that's exactly what happened to me. Within 6 weeks of going back to that job, I was back on the internet researching different business models. But here's where things changed. My luck did change. What I ended up doing is really learning from my failed business experience. You see, that business involved cold calling, it involved pushy sales tactics, it involved networking, it involved being on the phone all day. And it was a lot of things that I didn't want to do. Even if I could learn the skills, I didn't want to buy myself a job. I didn't want to be in a position where I was doing things every day that I didn't want to be doing. So I made a conscious decision that if I'm ever going to do anything again, it's got to be based around something that I am going to be passionate about, and it's got to not involve a lot of the things that I know I didn't want to do, like cold calling, for example. And what eventually ended up happening is, after tons of research, I came across this idea of learning online marketing. And in a nutshell, what I realized is that if you learn the skill of online marketing, that gives you the ability to market anything that you want, and as a result of that, make money. So what do I mean more specifically? Well, I mean being able to sell any product to any person anywhere in the world. That's kind of what online marketing enables you to do. A lot of people think internet marketing is where the profits are. Well, it's not. Internet marketing is just a skill that enables you to apply it to a business model where you can sell stuff and make money. And what I loved about this idea was that I would be able to apply it to anything that I wanted. So the ball was kind of in my court. I could sell things that I was passionate about or sell things that I wanted to sell. And what I realized is that being in the internet world would enable me to sell stuff 24/7, 365 days a year, and on an automated basis. And I kept on researching and studying, and I eventually found a mentor who introduced me to affiliate marketing, and basically this whole business model around selling somebody else's product and getting a commission for that sale. And the reason I love this so much is because, first of all, I knew I needed to do something around my job. Certainly wasn't in a position to quit my job. I had debts that I needed to pay off. And I also realized that it's something that could be started immediately. In other words, I didn't have to create a product. I didn't have to set up a website. I didn't have to learn anything technical. All I needed to do is learn how to market these products and, as a result, get a commission. So I ended up in January of 2008 starting my venture in online marketing. And let me tell you, I made my first commission check that January, just short of 3 weeks of getting started. It was tiny. It was like $27 or something off memory. But you know what? When I woke up the morning when I realized I'd made a sale when I was sleeping, I knew I was never going to look back. Making money in my sleep, even though it was next to nothing, was just a whole new thing for me. And it just gave me a whole new level of confidence in this kind of business model. And cutting a very long story short, within 6 months, just from doing affiliate marketing and applying what I'd learned, I had quit my job and I was in a situation to work for myself, self-sufficiently online from home. And that's exactly what I did. My first 12 months, I generated over $450,000 in commissions, selling other people's products. And in 2009, the following year, I did about the same amount of commissions, a little bit more, but I was working only a couple of hours a day. So I want you to imagine this, you know, being able to write your own paycheck, a significant paycheck, working just a few hours a day, and then having the freedom and flexibility to do what you want to do with your time. Maybe set up other businesses, maybe work on other ventures, maybe spend more time with your kids, more time with your family. And that was the situation I was in 2009. However, I didn't have kids. I didn't have a lot of friends that were free during the day. They were all at work. So what I ended up doing that year was just kind of traveling around the world and seeing different places and just enjoying many of the nicest beaches and just taking some time out, I suppose, to reflect on my life. Now, something that took me by surprise is towards the end of my second year, the end of 2009, I really began to question where I wanted to go with my future, my life. The big realization came in that money only does so much for you. The freedom and the flexibility that money can provide when you've got it is fantastic. But in terms of waking up every day fulfilled, it wasn't happening. Truth be known, as I was lounging around in my dressing gown till lunchtime, I was bored. And, I went into 2010 really reflecting. And what I decided to do really has changed or did change at that very point where I invest my time, my energy and my efforts. And that's in assisting other people to become successful online. Now, the way that happened is, first of all, I helped a cousin of mine and a friend of mine. They actually kind of worked together. And what they would do is they would come around to my apartment 4 or 5 days a week and kind of look over my shoulder in terms of what I would do to profit online doing affiliate marketing. And as you can probably imagine, they were very quickly able to apply what I was doing and become successful. Spending that amount of time with me and me being that invested in them, with them being, a friend and family member, actually meant they quit their jobs confidently within 6 weeks. Although they weren't replacing their income within 6 weeks, they just had complete confidence in that they were going to be able to do that, and that's what they did. And the result was they went on to be extremely successful. They are extremely successful in their own right now. And that was the beginning of this whole idea of me helping other people succeed online and spending my time and being fulfilled in that environment. Now, going back to what I was saying, what I started to do is speak at seminars. I was getting a lot of attention. Here I was, this 27-year-old guy who was living the life. I'd had, at that time, my dream car, an Aston Martin DB9. I'd had 2 Porsche 911s. I was living in a penthouse apartment. I was traveling around the world. So people wanted to hear my story. I was speaking at entrepreneurial events. I spoke at the UK Internet Millionaire Summit. I was speaking in the United States. I got flown out to Las Vegas, picked up by limousine to speak at an event. And, it was all pretty phenomenal, to be honest with you. And the result of that exposure was, as you can imagine, a lot of people throwing money at me, wanting to know my business, wanting to know my secrets, if you like. And so I started to run seminars, and I was charging thousands of dollars for these, small group workshops. I'd have 15 up to 16, 17 people that would come to these workshops. And in a 3-day period, I'd reveal everything about my business model, a very, very intensive way of teaching. And the idea was that they would go off and take their notes and take some videos I gave them access to and build their business, build their empire. Some of those people wanted to apply it to creating their own products. Others wanted to just do affiliate marketing and get started as quickly as possible. But like I said before, so many people struggled. And what I came to realize is that, first of all, a lot of people's situation was different to mine. I was like 26 years old when I started. I had a girlfriend that I wasn't that serious about. I had no mortgage. I really wasn't that worried about losing my job. I had this attitude that if I lost my job, I'd go and live with my mum and just carry on doing my own thing. I didn't have any children, so my life became this whole internet thing. Sleepless nights, working and working and working. And that's how I was able to quit my job within 6 months. It wasn't like I found a magic secret. I was just working very, very hard to make it happen. And that's why some of my students were successful too. They were able to work a lot of hours. Some of them had some previous experience and as a result became successful, but the majority, the high majority of people where this was new to them, where they had other responsibilities that they had to worry about, were just struggling. They were hitting hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. So what I decided to do, like I said, after 2 years of this, is rethink, what can I do to help these people? I was so frustrated with the lack of results people were getting. And I remember so clearly, I was at a friend's house and we were talking about it, and I was just saying, I was feeling a little bit down, to be honest with you. And I was really questioning whether I was going to carry on doing the teaching stuff. I wasn't blaming my students. I knew that my students weren't lazy, but I just kind of felt like maybe I was going to go into a different direction. But something held me back. And it was like I say, it was like this calling that I got to kind of figure this out. And I had this idea. And what my idea was, is a lot of the feedback I was getting from my students is that the workshops were great, the training was amazing, but what they were finding is that they were leaving and getting really overwhelmed, really confused, going back over their notes, struggling to put things in place, spreading themselves too thin, and just keep on hitting hurdles and hurdle after hurdle. And as a result would either quit or just get extremely frustrated. And what I decided to do was launch a private community. And my thinking was, if I can get my top students along with me to support these people in a community environment where they know it's safe, where they know they're getting advice from people that are actually doing successful things on the internet, not just guessing, not just reading bad advice on forums that is out there all the time, blind leading the blind, people giving advice that really shouldn't be giving advice. I thought, let's create a safe environment where I can hand select my successful students and we can all support one another and create this private community. And that is exactly what we did. And that was at the end of 2010. Now, you probably think that I'm going to now tell you that everything changed, we all lived happily ever after, and unfortunately that wasn't the case. Things improved, no doubt about it. People were getting over hurdles a lot quicker. The struggles that people were facing, we were able to advise and help and support in a group effort, and that made my life easier, and it certainly made the response time a lot quicker for people. And so we did slowly improve the kind of results that we were getting as a community and with my students. But it still wasn't enough, and the one thing that this did for me is it created collaboration. And what that meant is that we got a lot of ideas, and I got to witness a lot of the struggles that people were facing on a daily basis. I got to experience the things that people were doing wrong, where people were spending time that they shouldn't be. And I was able to channel my efforts in terms of thinking, what can I do to help these people with money producing activities? Because let's face it, most people want to become profitable online so they can make money quickly. They don't want to have to wait 10 years and have 10 years of struggle before it happens. So I ended up, along with some of my students, coming up with this vision, this idea of creating a digital business system. In other words, kind of like a franchise-like system for the internet. And as I started to listen to some ideas, and as I came up with some of my own ideas, I realized I had come onto this idea that was going to be incredible. It was going to really, really help a lot of people change their lives. People with the right work ethic who could apply what we could teach, the money producing activities that we teach, to a system that's already in place would make a huge difference. Because you see, the reasons why people struggled most was overwhelm, lack of step-by-step tutorial or lack of step-by-step guidance that they could follow in a systemized way. And I also realized that actually the number one reason why people struggle is actually getting set up. You see, before, what I was teaching people is how to set stuff up, whether that be the technical things, whether that be finding the right types of products to sell, putting it all together, setting up merchant accounts, product creation, all that kind of thing. And most people had no chance of making any money because they didn't even get past the setup phase. And truthfully, I underestimated how difficult it is to set stuff up when you're very limited in terms of the time, the money, the resources that you have. And like I said, because I was 26 years old when I started, I had an abundance of spare time, or all of my spare time around my job, and I had nothing to risk really. Like I said, the worst that would have happened is I'd gone home and lived with my mum. If you've got kids, or you've got responsibilities and mortgages, and you haven't got the kind of time that I had, it's very, very difficult to have that attitude. And what I realized is that if I could actually systemize and create a franchise-like system, people would be able to apply the basic online marketing and money producing activities, and the result, make money along the way. Now, let me just share another thought with you because it's really, really important. A lot of people come to me and they say, you know, I've seen other business opportunities out there and, you know, I don't know what the right one is and things like that. And I want to tell you this. If you want to be self-sufficient for the rest of your time working online and you want to be able to write your own paycheck, the number one thing that you have to understand is it's going to come down to your education. In other words, you need to learn how to become self-sufficient. You see, the way I see business opportunities, when you look at just basic affiliate marketing or network marketing, is it's kind of like potentially having a good job. You know, if you've got a good job and you can get paid each month and you enjoy, you know, what you do, that's great. That's a great situation. But what if it's taken away from you? What if that company shuts down? What if your boss decides he doesn't need you anymore? That's not self-sufficient. That's not a position that you'd want to be in. You want to be self-sufficient. So the vision that myself and my business partner Jay had is that we have to provide the education that's going to enable people in the medium to long term to become self-sufficient. And that is when we had this vision of creating an earn while you learn process. In other words, a way that you can plug in to money producing activities straight away without setting anything up. But for those who want to get the right education, get committed to becoming a self-sufficient online entrepreneur, we can provide a linear training program where people can work through, get the kind of education they need to never have to worry about how they make money again. I want you to think about this. Imagine confidently being in a situation where you know you can sell anything that you choose to anyone in the world, whether that be as an affiliate selling somebody else's product or whether that be selling your own product. Imagine having that confidence, because that's where I am. I know that I have the skills to set stuff up, to put online marketing in place, to sell anything to anyone in the world. And once the work is done, pretty much on an automated basis. So in other words, I don't have to be sat in front of my computer. Once it's set up, it's running all the time. And that's kind of like when you think of Amazon and things like that. You know, people just go onto their website and they purchase stuff, and then they've got an automated process that enables that to be fulfilled. And that's exactly what you want, in my opinion, if you want a lifestyle business, if you want a kind of business that you can scale, make money, but also give you more freedom and choices in life. And that's what you're going to get with us should you decide to go through our program. Now, the obvious thing next is, what is it I have for you? What is this page all about? Where are we going with this? Well, one of the things that we've been able to devise, and it's not for everybody, but is a win-win business model. In other words, a way that we can invest in each other. And what we've done is we've created an amazing module that's going to explain this whole kind of business model, a way for you to earn while you learn, a way for you to start making money before you have the full education, before you have the skills of setting everything up. And, you know, we have students who are doing incredible amounts of results, getting incredible results, doing amazing things, working with us within our system and within the program that we have here. But at the same time, they've got the confidence that the further they progress through our training, the more self-sufficient they're coming all the time. So it's not like a business opportunity that can be taken away from them, or a job where, you know, they could be fired tomorrow. And that is what we want for you if you're prepared to invest the time, energy, and effort with us. And like I said, we've devised this win-win business model. It's not essential, it's just something that you may be interested in that we want to inform you on. So the next step, if this sounds interesting for you, is to do this. We want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself and submit an application on a risk-free process. What I want to do is I want to give you an experience that you've never had before online. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to provide you with some education for next to nothing that's going to blow you away. But also we're going to allocate you a personal business coach who's going to look after you. In other words, you don't have to worry about email back and forward. You don't have to worry about people not getting back to you. You don't have to worry about dealing with inexperienced people. We have business coaches available, and we're going to allocate you a business coach to help you go through this module. And the reason we've created this module is to enable you to make an informed decision on whether this is something for you or not, whether this kind of business model is for you or not, if making money on the internet is for you or not. You know, I know the chances are you're here right now because you want to change your lifestyle. Maybe you already make good money. You know, maybe you want to make more money. I don't know, but I'm confident it's probably a lifestyle-based decision. You know, I'm in this situation as long as I have my laptop and an internet connection, sometimes even my phone, I'm in business. I can operate my business from anywhere in the world. Most of my processes are automated, and actually my time nowadays is spent teaching more so than doing anything else, because a lot of our stuff is set up. Yeah, I'll probably create 1 or 2 new products or ventures each and every year, because I know if I invest the time, energy and effort to set it up, it's going to pay me for years to come on an automated basis. So we're very, very invested in helping you with that experience. Now, as I said before, we want to make it completely risk-free for you, so you can make a fully informed decision to whether this is the kind of thing you want to do, all right? So here's how it's going to work. The application process is going to cost you $29.95. We wanted to make it affordable for pretty much everybody. What I will say, if that isn't affordable for you, then doing business online isn't probably for you right now. You know, you've got to be realistic. This isn't a hobby or something like that. This is a real business, and that's going to take some commitment on your side. However, if at any time through this process you think this isn't for you, within the next 30 days, we guarantee to give you your money back, no questions asked. I don't care if it's because you don't like my accent, you don't like the way I look, you don't like your business coach. Any part of this experience, whether it's the training doesn't meet your satisfaction, let us know and we'll fire that money straight back onto your card, no questions asked. The other thing I want to say to you is that I'm so confident in what we're going to do for you in terms of the experience over the next 30 days, that if at any time you feel I've wasted your time, come and find me personally on Facebook and let me know. And I'll put it right. I'll probably send you $50 and your refund, send you $50 through PayPal or something, just to say, sorry, you feel that we've wasted your time. That is how confident I am that this is going to absolutely blow you away. Now, the other experience you're going to have as you go through this process is a full understanding of what is the best way to make money online based on years of experience that both my business partner and Jay and I have when it comes to doing business online. In other words, let me put it to you this way. Between ourselves and our students, and this is just what we can track, we've made over $100 million in sales online by applying the systems and the processes that we create on the internet and having the education that we have. And we're just getting started. We want to do hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars over the next decade and beyond. And the way that we're going to do that is through collaboration, through joint ventures, through working with the right people, through creating win-win business models. But you have to be the type of person who's prepared to get educated. You know, if you're not prepared to put in the work and the effort, this really won't be for you, and don't waste your time. All right, so I really appreciate you coming through to check out this video. We're so sincere on what we're doing. We've had more success stories over the last couple of years than what we've ever had before. Once you submit your application, you're going to get to meet some of our students if you haven't already. You're going to be able to look straight in their eyes and on the videos and listen to their own stories, listen to some of the phenomenal, life-changing stories that we have here in our community. And it's just going to get you pumped up. It's going to really, really put you in a position to take this seriously and make stuff happen. You know, I want you to be able to be confident about moving forward with creating this new lifestyle business, be able to make money on the internet, and for whatever reason that may be. Maybe you're out of work, maybe you're fed up like I was with the job you're in, maybe you want a career change, maybe you don't like the existing business that you have, maybe you need to provide more money for your family, a better lifestyle for your family. One thing I've realized with our community is that nearly every person here is here for the reason that they want to provide more for the people they love. And it's not just about them driving a fancy car or having a nice holiday. It's about actually being able to add value to the people that they love. And it's such an amazing experience. And the final words I'll say to you is, this isn't about joining a program. This isn't about starting a business. It really isn't. This is about community. And I tell you now, you're going to experience that the moment that you come through, submit your application, connect with your business coach, and should you decide to become a part of our community, should we feel that we're a right fit for each other, you're going to be blown away with the support here. All right, so this is Stuart Ross, co-founder of the 6-Figure Mentors and Digital Experts Academy. Thank you for giving me your time, and I look forward to seeing you shortly on the other side where we can get started straight away. Take care.